Thank you, everybody, for joining. We're going to get started, and people that are jumping on can catch up. And of course, you're welcome to all ask questions at the end. I'm MJ Lawrence. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the Regional Office of Sustainable Tourism, better known as ROOST. This evening, we're going to be going over some upcoming spring events here in the Lake Placid and Whiteface region. I have Michelle Clement, our Director of Marketing, with us today. She's going to go over the solar eclipse. And joining us as well is Jeremy Freeman. He's the Director of Events for the Olympic Authority. He's going to be going over some of the spring events that, well, not some, these spring events that are going to be happening that the Olympic Authority is hosting. At the end, we do have a list of upcoming spring conferences. We will be sending out an additional separate email as we get a little bit closer to remind businesses that those conferences and attendees will be coming in to the area. So without further ado, we wanted to thank the Town of North Elba, the Village of Lake Placid, and of course our partners, the Olympic Authority, for co-hosting this event with us this evening. So thank you very much for your partnership. And we're going to get started with Michelle Clement, and we're going to go over the 2024 solar eclipse. Michelle, you're on.
I'm so busy trying to run the screen, I forgot to unmute myself. Thank you very much, Mary Jane, and thank you everyone for joining this evening. It's really hard to believe it's been a year, well over a year now, since we started talking about the eclipse and launching the first website and really ramping up for this event. And officially, as of today, it is 5 weeks away. And so, right here, I just have, again, listed, we'll keep putting this out with the timeline of when the eclipse will happen. But in Lake Placid specifically, Lake Placid is in a prime location at 2 minutes and 21 seconds of totality. That means for 2 minutes and 21 seconds, the moon will completely block the sun. And we're already we have been seeing a large uptick in inquiries and information. Lodging properties are reporting almost full to full capacity for the Sunday and Monday for the eclipse, not just specifically in Lake Placid, but throughout really the greater North Country region. So we're preparing for that as well. And we wanted to really focus. We've been focusing a lot. We know that, right now mud season's already kind of starting a little bit early, but it is during a time of year where we want to really almost discourage people from being in the backcountry and really encourage them to view the eclipse from safe locations and festivities within our communities. So we've been really focusing on messaging around designated viewing areas and events. Here's a list of some of the events and the key viewing locations for the Lake Placid area. The Lake Placid Horse Show grounds and the lacrosse fields, the athletic fields, will both be open for people to park and enjoy watching the eclipse free of charge. Same with Marcy Field in Keene. And then with the Olympic Authority on here, and I'm sure you might want to say a little bit too as well, so feel free to jump in, but both the Olympic Speed Skating Oval and Whiteface Mountain will be hosting viewing events. The Olympic Center will have the 1980 rink open with the Jumbotron doing live streams of the eclipse from Texas on through up as it passes through our area. So there's a lot of really cool events lined up for people to view the event, view the solar eclipse.
And Michelle, I can jump in if it's okay.
That is okay, Liz.
We have a couple of recent additions just hot off the press, and as everyone knows, like trying to gauge just how busy things will be, how much do we want to spread people out and have available. So we are working on things, but as you said, at Whiteface Mountain at the base lodge, we are having a viewing party with live music, but we've also just introduced, it'll be very limited tickets, only 125 tickets, but gondola to the top of Little Whiteface for spectator viewing. And so it'll be an exclusive ticket only for that. We are planning on Legacy Lodge being open to skiers and riders, as well as foot traffic coming up the notch, utilizing the new chairlift that we have from Bearden. So we're very excited about that as well. Another recent addition is that the Olympic Jumping Complex will be open for a viewing party. There will be live music and gondola rides available, and Mount Van Hovenberg will also be open. Nothing too specific to the Eclipse party, but it will be open as a viewing location. And as you mentioned that you already said about the Olympic Center, the speed skating ovals, where we're going to focus our attention and hopefully have some live music if the weather prevails. Streaming in the Herb Brooks Arena and Romer's Cafe to be open for food and drink from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. There is one new addition to that as well, is that on April 7th, the night before, if you're guests and people are looking for things to do, there'll be public curling and skating available from 5 p.m. to 9:30. All of this will also get summarized, get up on your website, Michelle, as well as our own. So don't worry if you didn't catch all these details. We have a lot more coming.
So it sounds like, Liz, each of the venues will be hosting some type of viewing event during the eclipse. And
Yes,
then,
and yep. And we'll be giving out glasses while supplies last.
Awesome.
and then Michelle, do you just want to touch on the various businesses just so that people know where to point the consumer if they're looking for, an event outside of the Olympic venues, private businesses?
Absolutely. So the website URL right there, lakeplacid.com/eclipse-2024. It's also in our main navigation on the Lake Placid website, is where we are pointing people to find a map that we're continuously updating with information on different viewing parties, viewing opportunities throughout the area. And that information is being reviewed and updated as new information continues to come in. Similarly to the announcement just right now from the Olympic Authority, many businesses have been planning things for some time, but the full details are just starting to roll out. So as more and more information is added, we encourage people to keep an eye on that page. That's where we'll be directing traffic, not just from Lake Placid site, but from our regional website, eclipse80k.com, which summarizes everything that's happening in the Adirondacks for the eclipse. So those are our two big things. Again, when we talk about numbers and Liz, what you're saying about trying to anticipate, a lot of what we're seeing right now is occupancy similar to a busy summer, a very busy summer weekend. The one unique thing to remember with this event is it is a shared experience, and it's something that both residents and visitors will be participating in all at one time. So it's a very unique opportunity. And so with that comes some additional pieces that we're really trying to work, and we have been working with the community to prepare for, as well as with Eclipse glasses. If anyone is looking for Eclipse glasses for themselves or their family, those are available at our information center located in the Visitors Bureau, 2608 Main Street, Lake Placid, for those that are not exactly sure where that location is. And those can be picked up free of charge. Those are available while supplies last.
And that's not for large quantities. We won't be handing out hundreds of glasses at a time. Those are for individuals to come in, and for, the community businesses that are looking to sell glasses or have them for the guests. We did share that link, and we did send out emails where they could purchase them wholesale and then either give them to the guest or sell them retail. So these are really for community members.
Or if you're a lodging property, for example, and people come in and are looking for a pair of glasses for them and their child.
Right.
Like that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Send them our way.
Yep. We're also working on a lot of directional signage to help people navigate through the community, find these designated viewing areas, designated parking areas. That signage is coming in, and we'll have that installed, ready to go in time for April 8th, and even in the days leading up to. So we're really encouraging people to not just show up on the 8th and try to figure out what to do, but have a plan for that day, as everyone's going to be kind of moving in the same swarms all at once. We also are creating information cards with QR codes to all of the information, the maps, the schedule events, the activities, everything that's happening in the area, and those will we're gonna start distributing those to all of the businesses throughout the community in the next coming weeks. So that's some of the information. You know, our goal is to, again, encourage people to be aware of what is going on, what is happening, what opportunities there are in advance, so that that day they have a solid plan.
And that will be done through, we have paid marketing initiatives. We are, obviously we have a website built out. So these information cards are also, obviously they're one more touch in market, but it's
Absolutely.
along with many other initiatives.
Lots of emails, lots of social media, lots of paid digital strategy. We're working with Stewart shops to have at the pump audio to help people as they're both coming to and in market. And then Mary Jane, do you want to give an update? You've had some nice meetings with the emergency services and
So
state.
we have had 2 calls and we have one more with the emergency services. We've had local, county and state agencies on these calls talking about preparations and what to be prepared for. Obviously, they will have their 911 lines manned to the best of their ability. They are going to depend on the local police for, local events as best they can. And then I know that talking to Franklin County and Essex County, they're going to strategically have their law enforcement where they have deemed it's going to be, the most advantageous. And then with the state police, of course, through the corridor coming into the region is going to be their focus. Not wanting people to be pulling over on the side of the road. They're obviously concerned about the influx and then the exit traffic. So that's going to be their focus. Again, there is going to be the 911. There'll be a command center in Raybrook where they'll be dispersing information. All of the different agencies, state agencies will have representation there in Raybrook.
Mhm.
And then, locally here in Lake Placid, in addition to the local police, we will also have, we're calling it an Eclipse hotline, which maybe it's just an Eclipse number where people that will be promoting for people to, have a number to call leading up to the eclipse and the day of to answer, easy to answer questions, where do I park, or
Mhm.
is this restaurant open, or where can we view the eclipse, etc.
Yeah, while we are working our best to have all of the information available online and that easy access that way, we know some people like to talk to someone, so making sure that that phone line's available in the days leading up to and during the eclipse. That's our summary, very high level summary of where we're at with regards to the eclipse. Again, 5 weeks away.
And the one thing that we didn't put on the slide is Up and Coding is a tech company based out of Tupper Lake that is building out a app for the eclipse, and their plan is to have that available for obviously by before April 8th, where people can download the eclipse and it'll have the designated viewing areas. And again, which we didn't touch on, but throughout the whole region, we've been working for all of our communities to have designated viewing areas. And that doesn't necessarily mean an eclipse event, but it's a place where there's parking, there's bathrooms, and there's trash receptacles for people to go to watch the eclipse. What we don't want is people going where it's not safe or on the ice, etc. So by having these designated viewing areas, it helps the communities be prepared and to direct people, and obviously keep our community and our visitors safe. So those designated viewing areas will be on the app, along with all the businesses that are hosting events and, restaurants that are open, and where to get gas and where the grocery stores are. So we've certainly been supporting that effort with Up and Coding, and Jason, our director of digital strategy, has been working closely with them to make sure that their initiative to create this.
And it's using the same data set that serves all of our websites and feeds all of our websites, so that once we have to update at one location, You share, you know, if you have changes for your business that need to be made, you know, make sure you keep an eye on what we're posting, and then it'll update it, not just with what we have, but also with that app. Thank
Okay.
you. And we'll hand it over to the Olympic Authority to talk about some of the other big events.
Jeremy,
Yeah, thank you.
welcome,
Appreciate
and
it.
you're on.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Michelle. Thank you, MJ. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining in this evening. Three kind of what I would consider to be some of the more larger events that we host, just in terms of profile, that are happening here over the next few months at the Olympic Authority. The first two that we'll talk about, I think won't be, you know, they're known in the community. They're repeat customers for us and in our community. So the first one is the IBSF, International Bobsled Skeleton Federation. Will be hosting a World Cup out at Mount Van Hovenberg at the sliding track, March 21st to the 23rd. Actually, this is kind of post World Championship for them that happened this last weekend, but we'll be hosting World Championships next spring in 2025. And so important for our partners, athletes, to get a chance to slide on our track. Real important for them to have this World Cup opportunity this spring. So excited to have them there. I would anticipate registration for nations is still open. We're probably going to be in the high teens in terms of number of federations from around the world that would be joining us. But looking forward to that event. And I think overall, we're looking at probably about 1,500 to 2,000 spectators over the course of those 3 days, obviously with some repeat customers day over day, but decent crowd size, but also a good fan favorite for folks that haven't had a chance to get out and see it before. You get to really be up and close to the track and really kind of see and almost in a way feel that experience as the sleds race by. So a nice opportunity to get out and watch some sliding sports. So again, March 21st and 23rd. And next one up, Michelle. Thank you. Next one is ECAC Hockey Championships, the men's championships. That will take place actually that same weekend. That'll be Friday and Saturday. Real important to note that the Friday game times historically, those have remained unchanged. So one in the late afternoon, the second in the early evening. The big difference this year is the Saturday competition actually will be at 5 o'clock instead of an evening competition. So 5 o'clock Saturday afternoon or early evening for that competition. So right now we don't know the teams that will be playing in it. They're just starting this weekend with their conference playoffs. But right now, Quinnipiac is in first, Cornell is in second, Colgate is in third, and Dartmouth is in fourth. And so obviously they have the tournament to go through before the teams that make it to the semifinals and finals will come into fruition the weekend before. So, but again, exciting to have ECAC back in Lake Placid. Those that have followed collegiate hockey for a number of years, especially here in Lake Placid, will notice that this is a new logo for the ECAC. They have a new commissioner this year, and so we've been working with them and kind of bringing them on board as they have their first experience here in Lake Placid, and so a lot of opportunities to come out. I know that I saw Chad, the general manager here at the Olympic Center, was on the call, but you know, we have some other activities and things that are be happening around the championship. We'll have some a band playing in Roamers on Friday. So just a chance to come out and have a different experience maybe than what you would have had in the past in terms of just seeing hockey. So hopefully folks will come out and see that experience.
Jeremy, just for clarity,
Sure.
so Saturday, what I heard was the championship is traditionally later in the evening around 7, but it's going to be at 5 o'clock on
Yes.
Saturday this year.
Correct. Yeah,
So that's good information for restaurants to have, because traditionally for the playoff games, it was like by 6:30, it was like no one's home.
right.
And so this year that'll be different. So
Yeah,
probably late afternoon, and then again, they could get another hit.
correct. Yeah, I
7:30.
would think, yeah, I would agree with that, MJ. I think that you have both those folks that will have come in for the Friday games, for the semifinal games. Obviously, a lot of them will stay overnight into Saturday, and so will be at the businesses throughout the course of the day. But you will have those that are driving in from out of town that are likely to actually kind of get in a way, maybe, or potentially two kind of mini waves, right? You'll have those that come right before to have dinner or something along those lines, and then those that right after the game, just anticipate that, probably around 7:30 would also potentially see some additional traffic after the game.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And then the last one is new to us at the Olympic Authority, is the Union Cyclists International, so UCI, part of their mountain bike World Cup series or World Series will be coming to Lake Placid September 27th, 28th, 29th. So next fall, we'll have tickets will go on sale, actually being this Wednesday. They have 4 disciplines of their World Cup circuit. 3 of them will be here next fall. We have a short track race, a cross country race, which would maybe consider it a little bit of a middle distance, and then their marathon, which is the much longer of the disciplines. So those will take place out at Mount Van Hovenberg. They'll be using our Nordic trails as the primary course for that. They'll be adding in some what we call features. So whether it's a rock garden or a log drop or something along those lines, that the athletes will kind of compete through and over and around, and making it exciting experience. And then afterwards, those trails will be returned back to the cross-country Nordic trails as we know them for the winter season. The primary, I wouldn't say sponsor, but kind of the rights holder for these UCI Mountain Bike World Series is Warner Brothers Discovery. So this will be the first year in a 3-year agreement to host these disciplines. There's the potential of adding the 4th discipline in future years, but we have those 3, as I mentioned, this first year. This is Lake Placid is the one of 15 stops on the World Series, and we're the last competition before they head to Mount St. Anne for the final championship, the final race of that series. So new to Lake Placid, but excited for the opportunity for both the community and the mountain biking world has become so popular, both at all ages, so young all the way through adults. And so we're excited to kind of showcase our area and work with local partners and partners across the state, organizations, youth club, so on, to have an opportunity to be a part of this new event that we're excited to have here in Lake Placid.
So Jeremy, how many athletes are you anticipating for this event?
Yeah, so the numbers, so different by discipline. So they're all told will probably be a little bit less than 100. It's both men and women, should have said that. So probably 100, a little more than 100 on both sides. From a spectator base, I think probably in the first year, we're anticipating a spectator kind of maybe between 5,000 and 8,000 in total to come out to these to this event.
So it's a significant event as far
Yeah,
as spectators, not so many athletes, but significant number of spectators.
yeah, and there is going to be other things than just the mountain biking itself. I mean, obviously that the competitions are the prime draw, but There'll be vendor villages and other activations and activities for folks to do on venue. Obviously, we're still in the planning process to put all of those pieces together, but we'll have those opportunities for people to be engaged, whether they're interested in volunteering or having a booth space, if a local business, something along those lines. We'll have that information will be up on the Mount Van Hovenberg website specifically to this event. And as those pieces come online, there'll be new tabs available and people can sign up, register, be a part of, learn more about the event.
Thank you. And then I also think that it would be good to talk a little bit about, what is the clientele, age, demographics, and just give an idea of what that might look like.
Yeah.
Very broad brushed, because obviously it's the first event, so we're just kind of feeling
It
out
is.
for this.
Yeah, it is. It is the first event for us in this realm, and so, but this tends to be a little bit of, obviously this is late September, and so that time of year, obviously we have a demographic that's in town in terms of that look for leaf colors and things along those lines, and seeing the change in fall. This tends to be a little bit of a younger crowd. But it actually goes all the way up to youth, and so a lot of younger folks will be coming out to kind of see this. This is what I would consider to be a really, in a way, interactive event because the tour, the series really looks to engage those fans, those spectators. So being able to get out into kind of the athlete paddocks, areas that they're working on their bikes and engaging with fans is a lot different than it is for a lot of other sporting events, professional sporting events, where there's, tends to be a little bit more of, kind of standoff between spectators and the athletes. And this is really about kind of getting the athletes, getting the youth, getting people together to kind of talk about the event. So I think the feel of this is kind of very different than what you would see in kind of more of a traditional, if I put air quotes on that, professional sporting event.
And so I think because of the high visibility of this event and the number of spectators that kind of follow this type of sporting and event, we do anticipate that we'll see an uptick in mountain bikers to the region prior to this event. And so we're working closely with the Olympic Authority as well as Beta and other local groups to make sure that we're prepared as a communities, because they're going to, be throughout the region. And so we're going to keep you posted on that, but it's an exciting event, and it's an exciting opportunity to expose our region to new visitors, as well as all of the great mountain biking that we have in the region. So
Indeed.
And again, if you have any questions, feel free to just put them right in the chat. And we're getting pretty close to the end, I think, and we're happy to answer any questions that anybody may have. So
MJ, do you want me to jump in? So Jim had asked a question in about how many tickets will be available for the mountain biking event.
yes, please do. Where are you?
yeah.
I'm not seeing that.
Yep. And so I would just say, so Jim, thanks for the question. At this point, we don't really have, because this is what I would consider to be an open air event, there are a number of places that that spectators will be able to view along the course. And so we don't really have a set number of spectators that from a ticket standpoint would be able to purchase. I think those that are interested in more of like a VIP experience, obviously that's a capacity type thing that we have to do, obviously have to monitor. But from the general spectator standpoint, I think we have more space than we would sell tickets for at this point.
Dave has a questions. For the bike races, is there a marketing plan in place, such as a plan to would inform the locals about the event in order generate great interest and more local spectators. And I will let Jeremy, you take that, but yes, we are working on building that communication out along with the Olympic Authority so that not only do the businesses, but the local community has a really deep understanding of what the plan is and what to anticipate and where to get additional information. Jeremy, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, I know my colleagues are on here as well, both Liz and Darcy from marketing and communications. But yes, I mean, there is a plan that we're working with MJ and the local, a local group of folks that have already kind of raised their hand or a part of the discussions to kind of build that out a little bit more. And obviously that information provided on the website, but then also through the normal channels. I think Liz probably could talk to that a little bit more than I would.
And then the other question is, Liz, I don't know if you want to take both of these, but, and I'm not sure that this has been decided yet, but if season pass holders have to buy tickets, so.
That's a great question. So no, this forum is a bit early and advanced, but we are looking at that. So what I will say to any seasons pass holders, don't buy your tickets just yet. It is very likely that there will be at least a good discount on all general admission tickets. It's not published just yet. We haven't sent it out, but that is coming soon. So that's a great question. What was the other one, MJ? I don't think I see it.
Jeremy?
It was just general marketing,
okay.
messaging to community and such.
And I
Yeah.
think it's the same question where, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
MJ, no, you and Jeremy kind of said exactly what I would say. Definitely in the works, finalizing a few things, certainly getting through the next couple of large events that we have, and then we'll be following up much more as this is an incredibly exciting event for us. Not having mountain biking before, we can't wait. As a mountain biker, I'm very, very excited.
And just to keep in mind, this is the end of September, so we do feel like we have just a little bit of time, but we have some large events that we just covered, you know, in the first part of this presentation that we're going to focus on to make sure we get them right, and then we're going to move on, right?
I think one of those pieces too is that, you know, getting that information right before we really push it hard locally and try to get that local interest, getting the details with regard to season pass holders and making sure that that's kind of all in one place. We're and with ROOST here, working closely not just with the Olympic Authority, but also with Beta to make sure that we have, you know, one succinct location for people to go to find information, not just about the event, but if they're planning on coming to the area or being in the area and riding during that time, you know, where we really want to recommend that people are riding if they're coming up to ride as well, to minimize impact on the trails. So we're working, like I said, very closely with Beta and the Olympic Authority to create a plan to disseminate that information in an easy and useful way.
And
then
Jeremy,
yeah, go ahead.
I
Sorry.
did think of one thing just in case anyone in the audience is thinking of it. And Jeremy, you could say whether this is true or not. But, you know, if people are looking for participation in the event or at the event, there will be a vendor village, that there will be booth space available. The sponsorship team is certainly working on sponsorship opportunities. There are some large viewing opportunities on course. So we're looking to pull in some sponsors that way, and then some smaller opportunities with the music and the festivities and so on. So local packages will be coming out on that also, probably later spring, honestly.
Yeah, and I would just add too that there'll be a volunteer tab listed on the event page itself. So folks that are interested in kind of being involved, more hands-on, being course stewards and things along those lines, certainly those can sign up that way or can reach out to our offices directly. And we also expect too a lot of the local clubs, both local clubs here, regional, but then even across the state, would also have interest in kind of being a part of it. Again, this is we really want to make this a community engagement and having as many people involved in what is, you know, obviously been a very exciting sport, and the growth of it worldwide has been spectacular. And so we're just excited to be a part of it and bring it to Lake Placid.
Very good. Thank you so much. More to come, right? Much more to come. But I think part of it is just knowing that it's coming is a great step in the right direction and kind of understanding the magnitude of the event. So it's gonna be a significant event. We have currently a 3-year agreement and we're looking forward to everybody working together to make it successful. So thank you.
Thank you.
And then the last slide that we have, and this is the conference schedule for the Lake Placid Conference Center. There's a great team between the Olympic Authority and ROOST that works together to sell the conference center and then service the conferences as they come in. As you can see, it starts in the middle of April and it's very busy right through the middle of June. So we have some great spring, early summer conferences that's going to help with that little bit quieter time of the year. And again, that information will be going out in a separate email. And if you have any questions, of course, you're always welcome to email us.
Also, that QR code and the link in the corner, you can pull up the full schedule at any time we continue to update that.
Is there any questions that anybody has before we wrap this up for this evening? Please ask anything that you might have on your mind, any questions or anything we maybe didn't cover that you were wondering about. Well, that was easy. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us this evening. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Thank you, Jeremy, Liz, our Olympic Authority partners, the Town of North Elba, the Village of Lake Placid, and of course, all the roosters that joined us this evening. Thank you very much.
Thanks, MJ.
Thank you guys for
Thanks,
joining with
everybody.
us.
Thank you.
Great evening.
Sure.
Thank you.